I want to share with you my plan, my site, and just a few of the systems that I've put in before commencing work. So what I've done is I've invested in the kitchen cooking paper companies and use a lot of transparencies. But in a nutshell, I've done zone planning, which is you map the outline, you work out where your house is going, and in this case it'll be roughly here. Then that is called zone zero. Zone zero is your home. It's the starting point. It's the place where you start to move. Once that is set up, once you've actually written down everything that you intend to do, whether it's animal husbandry, main crop systems, food forestry systems, food production systems, whether they are trees or whether they're orchards or whether they're just growing vegetables and such things. You plot them down and you place them on the property where the natural flow of the property can hold the better quality soil, where you can harvest and harness all the water available, and where you can actually minimize the amount of distance you have to travel to do that work. And then you put them highest intensity closest, least intensity further away. And just by doing that, you save yourself tons of work. Sector planning is using wild and domestic energies and plotting them down. Generally, I use a contour map because contours are very good to show you where slope is and gravity and to take advantage of that wild energy, like the sun, the wind, the rain, gravity. Here in the sectors, I've actually plotted down the compass and where the sun actually rises. And because we're in Europe, the sun arcs to the south. If I was in Australia, the sun would rise in the east but arc to the north and around. Here it arcs on the north side of east in summer, and in winter it arcs on the south side of east. The hours of daylight are 15 hours. The midday sun is right above you because this is you. It's where you stand. So the midday sun comes practically overhead and then back over to the horizon. And here, because of the arc of the earth, the sun angle is lower and only 9 hours in the day. I've plotted the fire dangers and the winds for summer and the cool winds and direction for winter. My good views, my bad views, my latitude. It's important for house planning and creating an eco-sustainable house, and I'm going to put a note on that. So that is your sector planning, and you plot that down. So you've got your zone, you know where your sectors are, so you start to plan for fire dangers. You want to actually grow trees and that to stop the bad views. You want to take advantage of winds. On here I've done a water chart. And if I move the orientation a little bit, north is here and main wind is here in summer. But this road has a half a square kilometre of water catchment from a nearby hill that runs straight past my property. I've now got it, so I'm channeling that water into my property and then down the side and then down into a swale. So I've designed up a swale which is on the longest and widest contour line from the highest boundary, which is this. It's 180 metres long, but I've only managed to build at 150 because I had lots of rock and lots of problem there, so I'm happy with that. I've put my road on contour, down the ridge line, back on contour, down another ridge line, but here it's at an angle to the ridge line, so I might have a bit of a water erosion problem because the water that runs off that, the water that runs off the main road collects here. This is going to be a high flow area. So I have to consider this small section here and this small section here, which are off contour and ridge line. I'm going to have a small erosion problem I have to address. Then that water flows into my swale and then soaks in, it sits there. The estimation is 70 tonne of water per fill to the first overflow, and I can adjust that because I've got a swivel on a pipe, and a right angle swivel, because it's just dirt, so I've planted nitrogen fixing seed all along there, and every 15 metres I've planted nitrogen fixing trees along the swale to put their roots in, to fix the soil and create a little bit of a sponge underneath. So water plan here is for hydration. Later on I'll put in olive trees and an orchard up here, a fire breaking along here of plants, and something that's blocked the neighbour's view. He's higher than me, his view's pretty good. Maybe next year another swale. I've built this pond. I have the ability to bring in water off this road. This is another road that slopes down this way and slopes down this way, and this is the bottom point which runs there, so there's a bit of a river from here, seasonal. But these are key points, and in these points I've actually here dug a small pond. Here I've dug a bigger pond. I can pull water in off this road and drop it in. I can pull water off this road and drop it in, which I haven't chosen to because I've so far found that I have enough water that comes in. And maybe next year I'll dig that pond and use that soil up in here and create a nice garden, but that's after I look at putting a house in. So this is the water systems and how the water and some of the tree structures go, and succession planning for the trees. And in here is just a tree growing system. This is system. This is about where the trees go, like my forest, which is now planted of eucalyptus. There's 20 eucalyptus trees spread around here, but this is in 6 car spaces. The main eucalyptus is there, so I know it grows, so they should. Trees all along here. I'm putting in a food forest in here. So I've got, for the first year, in fact this is all done in the first 6 weeks, I've got road access bottom and top. I've got water paths channeled, water swale catchment soakage systems built, a bottom pond and a second pond built. I won't go into what's happening next year, but it's just as exciting. So, and now putting a water tank up in here. That way I'm actually filling it up. I can't fill it from the road because I'd rather fill it from my roof and the road, and then put in a reed filtration system up here. Let the water flow down through pipes up into a tank, which is below the level of my roof but above the level of my taps. So then I can use road water, reed filter it, swirl filter it, put a tank there, roof fill it as well, and then let that run through the house's flush systems, garden systems, and then that can all then water everything else. So at this stage I've put a tank in here. I'm filling it from a tanker, and I'm going to use that to water absolutely everything on the property that needs watering this year until the trees create shade here and along the swale, until the trees in the forest, in my food forest, which is along here, are going to be able to support themselves. Anyway, there it is in a nutshell. Hope you enjoyed that little journey, and Kostas Creating Sustainability. See you later.